Hi there, it's March 29th and this is video log 3, and I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things we've been doing. Just recently we transplanted some daffodils that were growing native to the woods here, and we transplanted them around the fruit trees, all of them. And what these daffodils will do, because they're a bulb flower, they're perennial, they'll come back every year, which is nice because once you set them in, you don't have to worry about them. They're just going to keep coming back as long as they're, they got good soil and they're getting plenty of water and all those things. But what those bulbs will do is they'll suppress the other roots of plants that might want to come in and surround the roots of the trees and stunt some of the tree growth, because these trees are still young and still trying to establish themselves in the soil. Those daffodils will help suppress other plants coming in and tangling up those roots. Because the bulbs don't expand a real massive root growth, they just maintain around that bulb. They're not too much of a threat to the apple tree themselves, so they work as a beneficial in that way. They'll also, in some aspects, draw some beneficial insects because they are a flower as well. So we've done that. That's the first beneficial plant that we've planted around the trees. We'll add more later on and we'll expand it further, but that will come as the trees even get larger themselves. Also, we've been utilizing some of the timber that we cut out of this area as we're clearing, and we've cut them to size and we've made posts. And what we're doing is it's called an espalier, and basically what it is when you take any kind of fruit tree or berry bush and you train it to run between lines on these posts. And actually the lines are on these here, so you can see that we run these lines between, and we've even started to plant some of our berries. This is a blackberry bush transplant that we have. He's pretty small, but once they starts to grow, he can there's a better specimen over here. They'll look like this. So as they fan out, and this needs to get a little bit longer before we can connect it to the wire, but they'll start to wrap around this wire and expand out. And the benefit of that is allowing the bush to not get out of control or too widespread. And so that works out really well in small spaces. If you don't have much land, that you can grow a lot and keep it trained in a narrow space. It also, with these bramble bushes, they'll spread. The root system will get widespread. They'll go either out here into the woods or out here into the paths, but we can keep that mowed down, and we can keep their stems wrapped around the lines, and that way they're easy to access. They're even easier to pick because you're not catching your arms and hands on the thorns nearly as much if you were reaching into a bramble patch, which isn't very much fun. This can also be utilized for fruit trees, of which we're going to be doing later on this year, and in other climates we're hoping to do this with fruits such as kiwi or passion fruit, other vining fruits that can take off on a line and spread as far as 40 to 50 feet. So this is something we're practicing here in a temperate climate, but will be adaptable to more tropical climates. That's something else we've been doing. We've also started seeding the ground. We've had a lot of, as you can see, the ground's pretty sparse here for any kind of cover. There's lots of soil exposed and clay, and so we started to sow clover over this part of the ground. And what clover does is it fixes nitrogen into the soil, which is essential for any kind of plant growth. It also creates a nice ground cover that can even be walked on because it's durable. They often use it even in orchards. So we're hoping that will take. We're experimenting with it. We haven't done much with direct seeding any kind of ground cover, but we have done that. And we've also done a ground cover mix over here underneath this straw. And again, the goal is to get all this mud and dirt covered with some kind of plant growth, and also plant growth that's going to benefit the soil. So we're preparing the way for future growing, even having a nice clean pathway that would be green and we could walk on and not have to worry about tracking mud or even damaging the landscape of the ground. So we've done that all over here. We've thrown a mixture of ground cover, predominantly clover, in these areas. And I think that's largely the update for today. So until next time.